Hi, guys. Today is Tuesday, and it is also Teacher Appreciation Day. So, in honor of that day, of today, I would like for us to read one of my, I wouldn't say favorite, but it's a poem that's always kind of stuck out to me ever since I found it a few years ago. And it's called What Teachers Make. And not only is it a great poem, but it's a slam poem. So this poem is called What Teachers Make, and it's by Taylor Mali. He is an American slam poet, teacher, and voiceover artist. In this poem, he explores the criticism that educators often receive and challenges it by discussing the great achievements that teachers are responsible for. And so it's called What Teachers Make, and you would assume the whole poem is going to be about money, and that's the twist, right? Is he's at this dinner party, and this not so polite person asks him, "You're a teacher. How much do you make? How much do teachers make?" And he takes that question and flips it on its head. And what do we make is we make a difference. And this whole poem is this frustrated teacher trying to bring light to what he does in the classroom versus what people think teaching is. So, with that in mind, I would like for you to read the poem, and it does academically tie into what we're doing because it's a great way for us to review perspective versus point of view, message, and the effect that author's word choice and author's choice can have on a piece of writing, because he chooses to repeat the phrase "I make." So you're going to be asking, like, why did he do this, and what is the effect that this use of repetition has? What does it have on the poem? So, what teachers make, and you'll find this below this video. You can pull it up so that you can see the words and read along with me as I'm reading. He says the problem with teachers is, what's a kid going to learn from someone who decided his best option in life was to become a teacher? He reminds the other dinner guests that it's true what they say about teachers. Those who can do, those who can't teach. I decide to bite my tongue instead of his and resist the temptation to remind the dinner guests that it's also true what they say about lawyers, because we're eating after all, and this is polite conversation. So, right there, I already want to pause because author's voice. You can tell this man is witty, sarcastic. He's got some fire in him, right? So his voice is coming out really strong in this poem. I mean, you're a teacher, Taylor. Be honest. What do you make? And I wish he hadn't done that. Asked me to be honest, because you see, I have this policy about honesty and butt kicking. If you ask for it, then I have to let you have it. You want to know what I make? I make kids work harder than they ever thought they could. I can make a C plus feel like a Congressional Medal of Honor and an A minus feel like a slap in the face. How dare you waste my time with anything less than your best? I make kids sit through 40 minutes of study hall in absolute silence. No, you may not work in groups. No, you may not ask a question. Why won't I let you go to the bathroom? Because you're bored. And you don't really have to go to the bathroom, do you? Danny. I make parents tremble in fear when I call home. Hi, this is Mr. Mali. I hope I haven't called at a bad time. I just wanted to talk to you about something your son said today. To the biggest bully in the grade, he said, "Leave the kid alone. I still cry sometimes, don't you? It's no big deal." And that was the noblest act of courage I have ever seen. I make parents see their children for who they are and what they can be. You want to know what I make? I make kids wonder. I make them question. I make them criticize. I make them apologize and mean it. I make them write. I make them read. I make them spell definitely beautiful, definitely beautiful, definitely beautiful over and over and over again until they will never misspell either of those words again. I make them show all their work in math and hide it on their final drafts in English. I make them understand that if you've got this, then you follow this. And if someone ever tries to judge you by what you make, you give them this. Here, let me break it down for you so you know what I say is true. Teachers make a difference. Now, what about you? Now, depending on who you are and who you've had as an educator, who you've had as educators in your life, this poem will either make you think of somebody or be like, yeah, this guy has a point, or gonna be like, oh my gosh, what a joke, teachers, blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. The way that we're approaching this poem is through point of view and perspective. Point of view is the way from which the story is told, but it can also mean, like first person, second person, blah, blah, blah. But it can also mean perspective, the view and the experiences of the writer that is told through. This poem about what a teacher makes is told through a teacher's perspective, and that's going to influence what it says, the person's opinions, and what he's trying to convince the audience of. And so always keep that in mind. And so when you go for the questions for this, there's just 2 multiple choice questions because I want you to review what theme, like the central idea of a text is, what's the message, and then I want you to look at the effective repetition. Both of these are good review topics, especially for the big project we're doing these 2 weeks. And then, okay, and so then after that review of skills, what you are going to do for the rest of this assignment is a good deed. You're going to put good back out into the world. You're going to leave the world a better place than what you woke up to today. And it's going to be through an act of kindness. And to do this, you are writing a letter, and in this case, an email, to an influential educator in your life from this school year. You're going to blind carbon copy myself into the email to whomever you send it to. That way I can give you the grade for it. And this is also a really good way for us to review what a proper email looks like. Because, oh my goodness gracious, how many emails I have gotten that you don't even say hello to me, you don't even capitalize anything, you're just like, I turned work in late, where's my grade? Like, are you a caveman? Who am I? Who are you? Whew. So this is a good opportunity for us to do good, put good back out into the world, and to review very necessary proper email etiquette. It will do you wonders when you are emailing people in your life, requesting information, asking for help, communicating. You want to come off as a person and not a caveman.